All right. Good morning. You know, even when we're sitting, we can think about axial extension. And I want you to focus today, of course, on the core, which are not just your abdominal muscles. They're also obliques, which wrap around your waist. We'll be working all of this. They include your pelvic floor. We're even going to do some work on our pelvic floor. And of course, even your glutes, your adductors, your hip flexors, these are all considered part of your core. And let's face it, without a strong core, we don't feel as stable. We don't get to balance as easy, and we don't even move through our daily activities easily without a strong core. So, you know, it's pretty important. And as I said, it's not just your abs. So let's get started by lying on the floor. And we're just going to do a little bit of stretching out of and relaxing and opening up some of the key areas that we're going to be working on. So just come on onto your back, bring your knees in towards your chest, one hand on each knee. And just a little bit of rocking maybe, or circles, just checking in with what's going on in your lower back. But again, throughout the class, even though we'll be working all of the muscles in the body and the joints, be aware of your core today. Really pay attention to your core. Okay, extend your left leg down in front. Keep that right knee bent and take that right knee over to the left. So you're just stretching out the core. I think I'm going to bump up the heat just a bit. For some reason, it still feels a little bit chilly. All right, and then bring that knee back and onto your back into the center. Draw your left knee up. And again, just a little bit of movement, maybe even pulling your knees right into your chest, because that actually stretches out that lower back area. And when we're not in full axial extension, which I'm going to mention again today, it's really stretching up through the crown of your head, kind of tricky or not effective when you're lying down, but it is when you're sitting and standing. Send your right leg down in front, and then with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, just twist over to the other side. So you're going to feel that in your hamstrings, your hips, etc. But we're just kind of gently waking things up, which is always a good idea when we practice. All right, and then bring yourself back into the center. And then bend your legs and place the soles of your feet on the floor. We're preparing for bridge pose, but I want to begin by pulling the belly on an exhale in towards the spine, in towards the lower spine. And at this point, can you tighten everything in that lower pelvic abdominal area? So your pelvic floor is part of your core. Now, you know, when we start squeezing these muscles, they can be referred to as, of course, Kegel exercises, and then release everything. Inhale, soften your belly. Exhale, pull your belly down in towards your spine and tighten everything. Everything. Pull that pelvic floor up. Practice your Kegels. So you're holding, you're still breathing, but you're holding your belly, pulling it in towards your lower spine and just tightening everything up in that lower region, and then release. And one more time. Let's do this one more time. On an exhale, pull your bellies in. Practice your Kegel. Pull everything. I mean, it could include the anus, everything. This is like really contracting and working the muscles of the lower part of your core, from your abs down. And let's release. Okay. Now, placing your hands beside your body with your palms facing down onto your mats. You can spread your fingers apart if you like. Lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart center. Visualize that your heels are lining up with your sits bones. So you may need to bring your feet a little closer together. And then, if you get any cramping in those hamstrings, just take a break and straighten the leg out. Alrighty. So on an exhale, you're pulling your belly in towards your spine and you're tilting your pelvis up and you're lifting your lower back one vertebra at a time off the floor. You're engaging, of course, now the hip flexors. You're stretching them. Hip flexors we use when we walk upstairs, get in and out of cars. But we need to strengthen and we need to stretch. So you're holding up in this position. Your core is activated in this position. It's not a huge effort because part of your body's on the floor. So you're being supported by gravity here. But again, be aware of the working of your core muscles. One more breath in, pressing up, and then starting from the top of your spine, slowly lower your torso, your trunk, back onto your mats. Now, if you feel you need to bring your heels a little bit closer, because we're going to lift one leg off at a time, so you're going to want your feet just a little bit closer to your sits bones, your hips, your ischial tuberosities. That's what they're anatomically called, but we call them our sit bones. All right, once again, inhaling in place with your palms facing down, your arms are right beside your body. Exhale and press the small of your back into the floor as you pull your bellies in towards your spine. Feel that lower abdominal area working, and then slowly peel your spine off the floor, lifting up your butt, your lower and your mid back. Okay, well, here's where it gets a little bit better. Lift your right leg straight off the floor. Have your heel creating a straight line back towards your hip. Yes, it's on an angle. And lower that down. Exhaling, inhale, other leg, pressing through the heel. So you've got your one-legged bridge, but you're really working that core. One more breath in, and place the foot on the floor, and slowly lower it all back down. Yeah. Bring your right knee up and then your left knee, and just a little bit of rocking from side to side. And you know what? Why don't we practice our happy baby here, because it's a great stretch for the lower back and of course creates space for that sciatica. So knees are bent. You're grabbing your insteps. If you can't reach your insteps, take hold of your ankles. Your knees will be outside of your torso, and you're going to bring your ankles, if possible, directly over your knees. Keep your chin tucked in towards your chest to lengthen your neck and honor the curve of the cervical spine. Oh, and just breathe here. Great, that will do. Place your hands underneath the backs of your knees if you're okay with rolling up this way. If not, roll over onto your side and use your top arm to press yourself up. All right, and come on over onto oh, you know what? We're not going to do that yet. We're going to do bicycle crunches. So come on back down. Jennifer's gritting her teeth. Come on, we all like to ride a bike. Okay, kids. So your knees are bent, feet are off the floor, 90-degree angle. You probably know what we're going for here. You're going to interlock your fingers behind the back of your head. Now, once again, pay attention to your core here. You don't want your lower back coming off the floor. You want to press your lower back into the floor. You are going to straighten your right leg and bring your right elbow over towards your left knee. And then bring that right knee back. So both knees are bent and your right elbow goes back down and your head can go down too. And then inhaling and exhale. Extend your left leg and bring your left elbow towards your right knee. Now, if you bring your right knee a little closer, you'll be able to touch. Come back to neutral. Head on the ground. So it gives you a little bit of a break here and just a reset. Inhale, in place. Exhale, extend your right leg straight out in front. You can press through the heel. Bring your left knee towards your right elbow. You're twisting and crunching. And return to neutral. So you can rest your head. Now, if you want to keep your core engaged, then keep your head off the floor. Inhale in place, exhale, extend your left leg and bring your left elbow to your right knee. Bring your right knee towards the elbow and back to center. I'm going to keep my head off the floor. Both knees are bent. And then exhale, straighten the right leg, bring your right elbow to your left knee, back to neutral. Head can be on the floor or off. You're exhaling for the crunch. Other side. Back to neutral. We're doing this slowly. You work your muscles a little better. And exhale. It's safer. And you can feel. You can be mindful about what you're working here. You're working lots. Back to neutral. Let's do one more time on each side. Elbow to knee. Feel that core engaging. Back to center. And the last time. Great. And release your hands, draw your knees into your chest. And we're going to do one more trunk rotation here, keeping your knees bent. Bring your arms out to the side, shoulder height. Inhale in place, exhale. Let both knees drop over to the left. So they can come apart. You don't have to be too strict about this one. Just let the knees fall over to the side. So this is a nice stretch through the lower back, just to relax those muscles that you used, including your core. So signs of a weak core: poor posture, finding it difficult to even stand up or sit up straight, poor balance. These are all signs of a weak core. So we're here to improve all those things, right? Inhale, draw the right knee up, the left knee's coming, you're in the center, neutral, and then let both knees fall over to the right. And just relax here and breathe. And return to center. Now keep your knees bent. Bring your arms beside your body. This is going to be just a little basic Pilates movement. So again, you've got to press the lower back into the floor and engage your core. So pull your belly in towards your spine. So both knees are bent at 90 degrees. Their feet are off the floor. So you've got this nice right angle with your legs. What you're going to do is extend the right leg, tap the heel or the toe, probably it's going to be the heel, to the floor, and bring it back. Inhaling, Exhale, straighten the left leg, tap the heel, the foot, whatever you can lower. Bring it back to center. Inhaling in place. Exhale, straighten the right leg, tap the foot to the floor. Back in and bent. Inhaling, exhaling. Lower, straighten and lower the left leg, tapping the floor. And bring it back in, bent. One more time on each side. Extend the right leg and lower it, tapping the floor. Keep the core engaged. Keep pressing the small of your back into the floor as you extend your left leg and lower to the floor and bring it back to the center. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. So if you can, wrap your arms around your knees, bringing them in nice and tight. This, of course, is excellent for stimulating some peristalsis, moving things through the body in case there's anything that's kind of stuck. And we're going to do something for that too later because all of that matters. And now you can place your hands underneath your knees or roll over onto your side and come on up and over onto your knees. Okay, so we're going to start with bird dog. Now, there are knee cushions if anybody needs knee cushions, or double over your mat if you didn't get one. So in bird dog, we extend opposite arm and leg. So when you extend, say, your left leg straight out behind you, imagine you're going to shake hands with somebody so that your palm is facing inward. So this clearly strengthens your core, lengthens your spine, and of course your leg should be in line with your hip and your arm in line with your shoulder. And then try not to arc the back either up or down. Keep it neutral. Also, honor the curve in your neck, your cervical vertebra. One more breath in to stretch. Exhale and release. That's your bird dog. Okay, let's extend the opposite leg out and the opposite arm. Again, as if you were reaching to shake somebody's hand. So this clearly works on stability of the core. In fact, this takes pretty much all of your core stabilizing muscles to balance. So as simple as the posture looks, it involves and activates a lot of your core stabilizing muscles. And of course, the glutes, the lower back, the shoulders, and release. One more time on either side. Extend opposite arm and leg, reaching and stretching. Feel your core engaged. There are lots of muscles engaged. Maybe this is easier the second time around. One more breath in, stretch, exhale, release. Inhale, stretch, lift, lengthen. You're shaking somebody's hand with the arm so the palm is facing inwards. And one more breath in, exhale. Let's take the knees as wide as the mat, big toes are touching. Carefully and slowly lower your hips down towards your heels. If bending your knees 90 degrees is too much for you, then bring your knees back under your hips. Keep your bum up high. Release your forearms onto the floor. Create a pillow if you need to rest your forehead on the floor in whatever position you are in. And inhale to come up. So I'm thinking we should do this now, and you have the choice. Vashisthasana, which is your plank position, and of course then we come over onto our sides. Now, if you have any shoulder issues, you're going to drop that bottom knee onto the floor, okay? And the closer you are with your shoulder over your hand, the more your shoulder's engaged. If you come back, the less your shoulder's engaged. Now, if you're going to do that, I'd like you to lift your leg up, so at least you're going to work some of the core on the hip, okay? Now, that's one of your options. Instead of this, and even if you're doing this too, and you're coming over onto the shoulder, you can still remember all your different foot positions. There's your kickstand, but your easiest is to lower that knee onto the floor. So I know some of you have shoulder issues. Please don't aggravate or irritate them with this posture. But for those of us who still have good shoulders and wrists and can come into this, this is excellent for strengthening the obliques, which we need, the muscles that wrap around your waist, internal and external, for twisting and bending. So coming up, take your choice here. If you're protecting your shoulder, drop your bottom knee onto the floor. As you come over, lifting the arm up, and then sweep the arm under. So trunk rotation again, reaching up and under and up and under and back up and come on down. Are you okay? All right. So really, you always got to please listen to your bodies. I have no idea how they feel. I know some of you, we all have issues in our bodies, that's for sure. So we've got to listen. Okay, so let's come over to the other side. And remember, you can lower that knee onto the floor and take the body back if you really want to protect your shoulders here. All right? And then just get your trunk rotation in. So please don't be a hero or let your ego push you around. Coming into, and bring the arm down and under, up, and under, up, and under. And I think I lost count, but we'll do one more. And back. And this time come into full child's pose or puppy pose with your knees closer together and stretch your arms out in front. Stretch, stretch, stretch. So whether it's a sport we're doing or practicing yoga or anything at all, we've just really got to pay attention that if our body says, please always listen and take a break from whatever the activity is, or just don't even do it. Let the body heal, recover, restore itself. The body is always seeking homeostasis. It wants to heal. We have to be an ally for that healing. Okay, bring your hands back towards your knees, curl your toes under, roll back onto the soles of your feet. Let your upper body, let your arms hang, let your head hang. Just relax your neck here. Your knees are soft, so you're letting your torso rest on your thighs, and you're just letting your arms hang. And then pressing the soles of your feet, your entire foot into the floor. Start to slowly roll up, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, letting your arms just hang out. And let your head be the last thing to come up. And then let's take the arms behind the back, interlock the fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and just give your head a bit of a shake. And let's do our full sun salutations, again, paying attention to the core. So coming up to the fronts of your mats. Roll the shoulders back and pull your armpits down. So again, when you pull your armpits down, you may feel a stretch in the front of your chest. I do, because it's just so normal for us to have our armpits up doing something, that pulling the armpits down and the shoulders away from the ears, you're feeling muscles that are tight. They're just tight, that's all. Okay, so inhaling in place, engage your thighs here. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer. Step your feet apart, reach your arms up, look up, reach up, and arc back. Whatever amount you can, 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another. Lift up out of your waist. This is axial extension. Exhale, fold from your hips. You're reaching forward. Folding, folding, folding. Maybe you need to bend your knees, or maybe your legs can be straight with your fingertips touching the floor. Let your head hang. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat. Align your shoulders right over your hips. Bring your hands onto that front knee. Focus your gaze so you can balance. It might be on the floor. Lift your back knee off the floor. Press through that heel. Press through the heel. That's your anchor. Focus your gaze. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Keep your shoulders down. Fingers are active. So everything involves the core. It's really joining it all together. It's holding the bag, if you will. Okay, turn your hands forward. Spread your fingers apart. Come on into your push-up or plank position. Again, if that's too much for your shoulders, you're going to bring your knees onto the floor. If your knees are on the floor and you just want to get a little bit of extra weight into the wrists or the arms or shoulders, then you draw the upper body forward. If that's not for you, you keep your shoulders back away from your wrists. And for those of us who are able to today, bring the knees off the floor, holding plank position. Now, if you Google core, you'll see plank in just about every single thing that you look at online. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's great for the core. And again, as I said, we need strong core for posture. And then release your knees if they're not already on the floor. Leave your hands where they are. Flatten the tops of your feet. And slowly take your hips back towards your heels. So now we're going to stretch the shoulders, stretch the spine, release the lower back, reaching, and just really enjoy that stretch through the shoulder area and the release in the lower back. And now if you're able to, as you slowly begin to come forward, release your forearms and elbows onto the mat. If you're not, it's okay, but stay nice and low. And when you're able to, release your chest and your chin onto the mat with your bums up in the air. If you're tight in the upper back, this is going to start to help loosen things up. If you're rounded in your upper back, again, great anecdote. It'll challenge you. Slide everything out behind you. And then lower your forehead onto the mat. Draw your fingers back to align with the edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and then press your forearms towards the floor, drawing your shoulder blades down your back and your shoulders away from your ears. Press your hips and pelvis into the floor. Roll an invisible alley with your nose until you're looking straight down at your mat. And on an inhale, begin to lift the head, neck, shoulders, and chest off the floor. Baby cobra. You're using the muscles in the back, part of, obviously, a very important part of your core, your back muscles. Keeping your elbows tucked in, shoulders away from the ears. One more breath in. Lifting, exhale, and lower. Curl your toes under. If you want, come up onto your knees first, and then lift your hips up. And then walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Got to press all 10 fingers into the mat, and then send your sits bones back towards the back of your mat. Lengthen your spine, and now press your heels towards the floor. Now, it's really important that you do take your sits bones towards the back of your mat, because this takes a lot of pressure off the shoulders and the wrists when you do that. If you keep all the weight in the front, then you know you're working your wrists and your shoulders a little more than need be. Align your ears with your inner arms, and let's lift the left leg up in the air. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. If it didn't go very far, drop the opposite knee, pick the foot up at the ankle, and bring it back to the front. And bring the other leg forward, and here's where you just get to hang out in Uttanasana. Your legs, you can keep your knees soft here just for a moment. Then bring your arms beside your ears. And now I do want you to straighten your legs as much as you can. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Protect your lower back by pulling your belly in. Inhale, sweep the arms in front, reaching up. Feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another. Lift out of your waist, axial extension. Exhale, keep your thighs engaged as you fold. Fingertips come to the floor. Now you can bend your knees and sweep the arms out to the side as you straighten your legs and come up, bringing your palms together overhead. Exhale, draw your hands down to your heart center in prayer pose. And release your arms. Give the shake out. Let's do this one more time. How's the heat? A little bit warm? So we'll back it off again. Hey, tech guy, are you having a nap? Yeah, you're just praying that it's going to be over soon? I can see he's having a nap. That's okay, naps are good. Okay. That's why cats live so long and dogs, they nap. Inhale in place, exhale, and they stretch. Exhaling with your hands in prayer. Feet apart for balance. Reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist, axial extension. Exhale, fold from your hips. Reaching as you stretch. If you reach, it's easier to get those fingertips on the floor, and then let your head hang, please. And now step your right leg back. Did we do this? Is that the same one? What did I do last time? No, I did the left leg back, right? Yeah, we're good. Everyone look, okay, kids. All right, so again, focus your gaze. This is where a lot of muscles engage, including your core. So keep your shoulders right over your hips. Focus your gaze. Wait for your own inner cue. It's not about me telling you when, it's you telling yourself when, okay? Lifting your back knee off the floor. Now, if you feel like I just want to keep your knee on the floor, that's okay too. Try not to lean the torso forward. Keep it straight up and down. Engaging the core. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Push through that back heel. That is your anchor. Focus your gaze. So again, if you're wobbling, you're using your stabilizing muscles in your ankles, in your thighs. Remember, there's over 600 muscles to work. We should give them all a little love, and I think yoga does a good job at that. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them onto your mat, and take that leg back. Now remember, you have the option to bring your knees to the floor, and only if you're bringing your shoulders over your wrists will you start to engage more of your shoulder wrist muscles. So you know you can back off. You can hold your plank position with knees on the floor or knees off the floor. Breathe. If your knees are off the floor, you can feel your core working. Your entire body's working, to be honest, of course. But if you really want to strengthen your core and you don't have wrist and shoulder issues, consider, spending a few seconds every day practicing, and then release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, leave your hands where they are, and slowly, if you're able to bend your knees more than 90 degrees comfortably, take your hips back towards your heels. If not, you're going to stay more in a puppy pose. So leave your hands where they are to achieve a good stretch and release through the shoulders, the spine, and the lower back. And just breathe here. Feel your belly against your thighs. And now, if you're able, as you slowly begin to come forward, lower your forearms and elbows onto the mat. Stay nice and low. Keep your bum high. When you're able, release your chest and your chin onto the mat. So not only does this posture help with a rounded upper back and open up the chest, it is brilliant to support impeccable alignment of your spine. Slide everything back and release your forehead onto your mat. Draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms down towards the floor. Press your hips and pelvis into the floor. Tops of your feet are flat on your mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck. And then on an inhale, everybody begin in baby cobra. So you're using your back muscles, your core back muscles, to lift the body off the floor. If you wish to press up a little bit further, releasing the back muscles, but now you'll be using your shoulders and wrists. So again, if you've got wrist shoulder issues, stay in baby cobra. Brilliant. If you want to press up, come on up. Keep your shoulders down. Don't let your elbows wing out. Keep your wrists, elbows, and shoulders in alignment. Bring your elbows into. Thank you. So this stretches out the front of the core muscles. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. Nice work, everybody. Curl your toes under. You can press right up into downward dog from here, or you can come up onto your knees first, and then lift your hips up and walk your feet a few inches forward. We're going to offer a variation here. So again, pay attention. This may not be for you. If you have wrist or shoulder issues, you may just want to bring your knees to the floor for a moment. If not, send your sits bones towards the back. Press all 10 fingers into the mat so much that you have that space under the palm of your hands, but you can feel all your 10 fingers pressing into the mat. And then you're pressing your heels towards the floor. Lift your right leg up, coming into a three-legged dog. So the more you've pressed your sits bones towards the back of your mat, the more weight you're taking out of the wrist and the shoulder area. And now tip that right leg by bending it over to the left and look under your left armpit and maybe say hello to your foot. Hello, foot. And bring it back up and bring it back down. And let's see if we can do this with the other leg. So three-legged dog, starting, lifting the left leg up, pressing the right heel down towards the floor, and then bend at the knee, tip it over to the right, and look under your right armpit. And say hello to your left foot, and take it back, and lower that down. And now, looking at your right hand, swing your right foot forward, or drop the opposite knee, pick the foot up at the ankle, bring it back to the front. Other leg forward, Uttanasana. Let your entire body just hang over your legs. You're bending, relaxing your knees. And now bring your arms beside your ears. And now galvanize your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your belly in towards your lower back. Inhale, sweep the arms in front, reaching up. You can feel your thighs working and your core. Feet apart for balance. Reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, come back together with your feet. Lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold, reaching as you bend. And then bend your legs, knees. Sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead. Hands in prayer, coming right down to your heart center. And take a sip of water if you need, and flat out and relaxing for a moment. So just take a moment to allow the benefits of that performance to be absorbed, uploaded, and of course, give yourself a bit of a chance to catch your breath and regather your energy. Do whatever you need. It would be great if your palms were facing up in the open and receiving position beside your body, far enough away so you can feel your shoulders connecting with the floor. This is also externally rotating your arms, so it opens up the shoulder joint, the ligaments and the tendons, as opposed to it being internally rotated. Palms up, make the arm externally rotated, which just broadens the shoulder area and helps to relax this upper body area. So let your belly be soft, because we're going to be working the core a little more before this is over. So relax your belly as you breathe deeply into it. Notice it rising. And of course, falling on the exhale. Good deep inhaling and exhaling. Even a sore back can be a sign that the core muscles just are not working well. So when we go about our daily activities, when the back muscles are weak, they get tired and they can be injured and they can just feel sore. So all of what we're doing today is being very proactive, very aware at working and strengthening and stretching our core muscles. Couple more deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Okay. So drawing the knees into the chest once again, little rocking on the back. Bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, or roll over onto your side and use your top arm to push yourself out. Can't have a core class without Navasana, boat pose. This is where you get to grit your teeth, if you want. But it is amazing when we smile. Remember, I've told you this before, you know, if you don't feel like smiling some days, do it anyway. Do it anyway. It changes your brain chemistry for the better. All right? And I know there's lots not to smile about today, including the impending winter weather coming, unless you're taken off for the winter. Take us with you and we'll practice yoga on a beach. Okay, what I want you to focus on in Navasana are your sits bones, is that you're really feeling balanced on those sits bones. I also need you to engage your core. So you know it's engaging, you can feel it, and just hold on to your knees here. We don't have to do the full expression, and I don't think we will today because I don't want you to feel like you got too much of a workout because we still got some really strong core workout. But if you want to release your hands, you can. But if you're holding on to your legs, you're having to work your core, no question about it. And if you feel like straightening your legs, you can, but truly just holding on here, keeping your shoulders back and your chest lifted, and then roll back, please. And again, hands on your knees and gentle rocking from side to side. And once again, let's rock up and find that sweet spot. So move the shoulders down and away from your ears. Lift your legs up so they are almost at a 90-degree angle. Feel your core engaging. Lift your gaze up towards the ceiling or the wall. Chest is lifted. Feel your core activated. Just by holding this, so we don't have to challenge ourselves that much. And release. Good. And a little rocking from side to side. And then place your hands underneath the backs of your knees or roll over onto your side if you prefer, and use your top arm to push yourself up. Come on over onto your knees, curl your toes under, roll back onto the soles of your feet, walk your hands back, keep your knees bent, let your upper body just hang, including your neck and your head, pressing the soles of your feet into the floor. Slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And then bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them back, and just interlock your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Okay, we're going to take and do a little bit of a modified goddess pose here. So take your feet, turn them, come sideways on your mat probably. And your knees are going to be wider than your hips, but you want your knees basically to track over your toes, and you're going to bend your knees a lot. And then what I want you to do is take your arms behind your head and interlock your fingers, okay? And then inhale, exhale to the right, side bending, side bending. Inhale back to center, you don't have to go really far. Exhale, other side. So we're working the core, and we're also now stretching the side of the core. Inhale back to center, we'll do one more time on each side. Bending, so you're bringing your elbow towards same knee, back into the center, and one more time to the other side. Back into the center. Release your arms and straighten your legs and bring your legs together and give the legs a good shake out. Okay, coming up to the fronts of your mats. Step your, let's see here, I want you to be able to see what I'm going to do here. So step your right leg back, bend that front knee. We're going to sweep the arms up, coming into warrior one or high lunge. Now make sure your feet are really rooted and grounded here, because now I want you to take your right elbow and bring it to the outside of your left knee. Now, if you're having some balance issue today, you can start with your knee on the floor. If not, you're going to use more muscles just coming into this posture with your right elbow coming, open the palm, bring the other palm on top. You've got your mirror image, you're twisting. Focusing your gaze, twisting as much as you can through the core. Release your hands to the floor. Step your left leg back and reach your right foot forward. Inhale, come on up. Coming back up into your high lunge or warrior one. So that took core muscles to move in that direction. It takes core muscles to do everything. So once again, you can twist by dropping the knee first if you were struggling with balance to bring your left elbow to the outside of the knee, or you can come from standing, bringing left elbow to outside of right knee, other hand directly on top. Again, your back leg's going to be your anchor, so press through that heel, and then you can use the knee, the elbow pressing into the knee as leverage to twist your trunk. Focus your gaze. Nice twist also. Stretch for your shoulder area. You should feel this through the upper back. And then release your fingers to the floor. Bring that back leg forward and let your head hang. Keep your knees bent, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. So the esoteric value of your core is aligned with your solar plexus, your third chakra. And this has to do with willpower. It has to do with a sense of security, authentic security, without the designer bags and designer clothing and all the accoutrements that some people, cars, na. So it's like you really feel your own self-worth and groundedness. And basically, we're going to do an exercise called Uddiyana Bandha. Now, it can be associated with digestion, elimination, metabolism, which I like to use it for digestion before if I'm waiting around for a meal to be prepared. But basically, you know, many of us have done this before. So you bend your legs and you place your hands on just above your knees with your fingers resting inside. And then just breathe normally, so relax your belly. Just as you breathe, you're relaxing your belly, inhaling and exhaling. And then take your last exhale, and even when you think you've got all the air out, go for more out and pull your abdomen as if you were pulling it up under your rib cage. So all the air has to be out, and I'm going to have to stop talking because I need air to talk. And then you're going to pull your belly up, and you're going to hold it until you can't hold it anymore, and then you're going to stand up and breathe, okay? And then when you stand, I just want to really anchor this idea of axial extension. So before we do this again, lift up through the crown of your heads. So it's not the nose up, it's not the chin up, it's the crown of your head. And you feel this incredible extension through your body, and you're all 2 inches taller now. I didn't know, I'm feeling short looking out at you guys. And arms at your side. So reaching up through the crown. Do you all feel taller? A little more spacious, a little more engaged too. It engages your core. Okay, so let's just hang out again without the axial extension. See what happens to the core? That's okay, it needs a vacation once in a while, but not all the time. If we were always on vacation, wouldn't be getting anything done, right? So axial extension, lifting up through the core. I just want to anchor this. When you're sitting, when you're standing, when you're waiting, consider it. Waiting for those eggs to become hard, boiled, if that's how you like them. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Uddiyana Bandha. So this enlivens the third chakra. You know, and when the third chakra is out of balance, we can feel insecure, self-doubt, lack of direction in life. I mean, we've probably all had those moments. So placing your hands on your thighs, just above your knees, keeping your spine long, inhaling and exhaling, just normal. And when you're ready, take your last exhalation. So all the air out, all of it out, 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 out. And then pull your abdominal muscles up in towards your spine. You're going to really feel it engaged, as if you were putting a tight belt around your waist, or you were trying to do up some pants that are a little tight and don't have any stretch. Okay, give everything a shake out. Come on back down onto your mats. Now, if you didn't get an iPad and you want one, you all know where they are. Put your tissue over your eyes or cover your eyes. It's always nice to have that darkness in the daytime in order for us to reduce the activity of the senses, especially in this case, of course, the eyes. Make any adjustments you might need to make yourself comfortable. Eyes are closed. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. Let your bodies be soft and heavy. Although the sound of children stomping upstairs may feel like an intrusion on your peace, isn't it nice that there are children who are engaged in community and learning and physical activity? We always have a choice about how we think about everything. Inhaling sun, warm, yellow, positive. Exhaling cool, blue, moon, negative. Sun, warm, yellow, positive. Moon, cool, blue, negative. Sun, warm, yellow, positive. Cool, blue, moon, negative. Sun, warm, yellow, positive. Exhaling, cool, blue, moon, negative. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep. And deep, exhaling. Long, full, deep, inhaling. And deep, exhaling. Inhale, stretch your arms over behind your heads, reaching, stretching, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your side. When you're ready, roll over onto your side, bend your knees slightly to protect your lower back. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow just for a moment. Being gentle with ourselves reminds us to be gentle with others. Gentle in our thoughts, gentle in our words, and gentle with our actions. Not always possible, but just something that we can strive for in a world that feels a little too aggressive. And when you're ready, come on up into a seated position. And once again, if you wish, you can join me either with sound or without in chanting Om and Shanti, which means peace, 3 times after our Om. Inhaling together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for coming out to share your practice today. Have a great day. Namaste. Okay, any questions or comments are always welcome. Oh good, I got the okay. Yeah, I feel good. You feel good, Tech Guy? Where's your glasses? I don't know where they are. That's how good you feel.